is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood podcast, episode number 59. And we finally have Winning Potatoes here after a very long wait.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry, guys. I really jerked Matt around today.
Hey.
What?
Nothing.
You didn't have to put it like that. That is not what I meant. Yeah, I'm being a bit of a night owl at the moment, so I got up really late, and then there was all this stuff going on. And so you're going to a party tonight, right? And this is why I feel bad. Well, I feel bad because I just kind of missed it.
Well, no, I had to do a few errands, so I had to actually wait for you until, get this done.
Right.
So I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
So what are the errands? Let's talk about.
Let's not talk about errands. Let's not talk about shopping and food.
Oh, I've got to roll the socks, and I've got to do the
outside
laundry.
errands. Outside errands.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's why I say I have to be here. Anyways, let's not talk about errands. So what have you been doing?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
VisualWood
busy? Podcast, the Errands podcast, where we talk about all the errands we're doing and stuff. Oh, man, I kind of want to talk to you about, what I said is kind of going on at the moment, about maybe things happening with me regarding where I live and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about it, but if it all falls through, I mean, we talk about scammy stuff on the podcast.
I felt the same way with the house. I was just like, I don't want to talk about the house until I actually get it, because I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get this house. And then we're waiting 3 months, and then all of a sudden, what happened to Matt's house? Well, I didn't quite get it. But it's all fine now. Yeah. So I don't know. Well,
look, there's stuff going on anyway, and that's been very interesting, taking up a lot of my time and stuff. But yeah, you're saying this because I haven't put up a Grimrock in 2 days, and you hound me the second that happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do it for the people, not for myself. It's not that I'm really interested in you finishing that game.
Yeah,
just like the first one.
We'll probably finish at episode 60, dude, and we're at 56 at the moment.
So that means you need to marathon it and have it all out by tonight, which will be Sunday, right? Okay. So that gives you 2 days, right?
I've got a week because the PAX South stuff, GW2 stuff.
GW2.
This is going
That's
on. So I want Grimrock finished for when that happens. Absolutely. It has to be done at that point.
Because you're just going to be sucked into this. For
yeah, man, it's going to be insane.
And I guess I will be sucked into this too as well, because I am very excited. What do you think about when we record next week? It's going to be before all the announcements and stuff. And then the video is going to come out after the announcements, right? Does that seem like a mistake? We still
something to consider, maybe.
Yeah, well, I guess we still should have a VisualWood on Sunday, and the next VisualWood will be all the information out, all the blog posts that they
and then we can just steal from what everyone else says,
yeah, exactly. We couldn't talk about what we just talked about, so we cut that out. So if you feel a cut there, you know what happened.
Matt ruined it. Stuff
I did, because I just got comfortable. That's what happens. That's what happens when I get comfortable. I get too
relaxed
honest
doing this podcast. Yes. So you were watching POI with me the other day, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We were streaming, we had the same amount of numbers as they did, but they get very kind of nervous and scared and stuff. And you know me, I'm not comfortable with it at all, but I don't know, it was kind of weird to me. Do you wonder everyone about that?
What, they get nervous? You mean the developers?
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, we're talking about the Guild Wars 2 Points of Interest stream we're watching the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know, they always seem that way. They always seem very, not comfortable, kind of like...
Do you think it's the format? Do you think it's the way, okay, so me and you, let's say we were doing something live with around about the same amount of viewers, but we were sat side by side on a table and we couldn't really look at each other, kind of thing. Do you think that would ruin it?
No.
I feel like they look into really bright studio lights as well or something, or there's just something that makes it very uncomfortable, and it's not quite the same as me just stood here in my bedroom in my pajamas talking to a mate on the internet.
Well, I guess it's could be camera shy. I mean, I'm not camera shy, so I guess I wouldn't have that problem. But you, on the other hand...
Oh, no, I'm not camera shy. No.
Yeah,
I'm actually not camera shy. IRL, if there's a camera on me, I don't really care. And I'll do the cheesy grin, and I'll do the thumbs up. I'll strike the weird pose. I'll be Gaston.
Do you do the neck smile?
The neck smile. What's the neck smile?
When you push your head all the way back, so your skin of your neck goes up to your chin.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I
Eagle
don't
Raptor
do
does it.
I'll have to add that. I'll have to add that to the list.
Yes. You have to do that the first time. First time we meet, like that's their first picture of you. Just you with your like neck juices on your chin.
Matt and I were talking about how we could do a skit of when we first meet, and he could like put it on the channel or whatever. And he was like, "Oh yeah, in the skit, you can be really awkward, and you can be sweaty, and you can be nervous, and we won't really have much to say, and you'll go in for a hug, and I won't want the hug, or we'll try and high five, and we'll miss the respect. I like try and shake his hand when all this kind of stuff." And I was like, "We don't. You should just record our first meeting then. It doesn't have to be a skit. It will just be, hey, this is the first time I'm meeting Winnie Potatoes. Just add that extra pressure on top of me." And watch me squirm.
Right. It's gonna be great to actually see you. So because you're coming down here, right? Was it in a week? Right?
Yeah, sure. All right.
Anyways, we have talked crap for this beginning of this podcast too much. All right. Guild Wars 2. What do you think the expansion is going to be about? Wait, I know people are going to ask this anyway, so we might as well just answer them, right?
Matt? What do you mean?
Oh, we don't know if it's an expansion or not. Yeah, but come on, we kind of feel like it's either an expansion or it's an expansion type of living story thing,
I mean, I'm pretty much convinced it's going to be an expansion. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there is a chance that it could be like not a full expansion. It could be like a half expansion where it's like, okay, Heart of Thorns is Season 2 of Living World doubled, which would be like 4 maps, okay, plus a whole bunch of story instances into the Maguma jungle. It could be like them saying, all right, this is sort of an expansion, but not really. This is something you can buy with gems, or hey, this is a login reward. After you've completed the login rewards 3 times over, you get this like free new campaign called Heart of Thorns, or some weird thing like that. I'm not actually saying I think that's the most likely, but it is a possibility. And the reason I say that is because I don't know, and it would be stupid for me to say this, but don't you think from what we've seen so far, it looks very small in scope? And by that I mean, like, think about the launch of Guild Wars 2, right? It was about fighting Zaitan, right? But it was this whole world that you got to go to. You had Kryta and Ascalon and Maguma and all of this crazy nonsense, right? And even in the earliest trailers of that, you were seeing all of those areas, and you were seeing the scope and the breadth of the product. But on this, the Heart of Thorn trailers, it's literally just like, hey, this is everything Living World related. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're looking at one region, we're looking at all the characters we've already seen, and, it seems very, very focused and narrow. And so that's why I say maybe it wouldn't be a full expansion in this space. Is that crazy?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be because, like I said, like they might be going for their own version of an expansion, like they've mentioned many, many times before. I would like to be in the hype and say it's an expansion and I get to buy a box copy because I like box copies. But like Colin said on the POI, he says that it's all the same. It's not separate, So like the, personal story, living story, expansion, Heart of Thorns, it's all the same story. Like, don't think of it as separate. And he keeps drilling that. He said that many times before. But now that we have this looming over, we're like, oh, okay. So what do we expect? I'm expecting, because they've been working so long on it, I'm expecting a big overhaul on a lot of things. Like, for me, season 2, the second half of it was way better than the first half. And what I tend to recognize is
wait. So you're fully caught up then?
Yeah. I played it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the fact that you played it together yet?
Huh? We what?
Did we talk about the fact that you played it together? Because you were going to do like a big catch up, right? Where you just played the whole thing, right?
Yeah. I caught up and everything.
Oh, why didn't we talk about that before the pod?
Well, we didn't have much time because you took so long to get on the pod. So.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
We could talk about it later.
Should I just leave? Should you go get another? Look, there's a few cool guys in the community.
Come here.
You've already done a pod you've done a pod with Richie before. Should we just bring him on?
Have I done a pod with Richie?
Yeah, you were on Guildcast with Richie.
Oh, well, that's a total different podcast.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Anyways.
Does it even still exist? Oh my
No,
god.
no, it doesn't.
Right? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't. I think it came back for like a moment, but that's when like the community was getting really crazy and people were like very dissatisfied. It wasn't, where all this hype is. Not everyone's like coming back like, oh my gosh, what? They're doing something with the game? Huh? What? Now everyone's just like their eyes on it, including me. Even though I've been playing the season 2, but I haven't been doing anything else. I've just been playing season 2. That's pretty much it. Of course I go into builds because I just like doing builds on my characters. I'm really obsessed with it, and I need to stop because I'm spending too much money having like 7-8 sets for my Guardian, having a few sets for my Mesmer. Like, I need to stop. I really need to stop, and that's why I never go for Ascended, because I know that I'm just going to end up messing with stuff because I just want to try different builds. And that's why I'm waiting for Legendary Armor, which I hope Legendary Armor is in Guild Wars 2 HoT. HoT?
Yeah, it could be.
I like it hot. Ooh, yeah.
So
HoT
one
expansion.
thing.
Sexy.
One thing Matt was talking to me about was the fact that it's friggin' Heart of Thorns, and if you count the S on the end of it, it's HOTS. Wait, was this you talking to me about, or was it someone else?
No, I think it was somebody else.
For God's sake. But still, yeah, so it's HOTS all the time. Why is everything HOTS, Matt? Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Heroes of the Storm. There's another one. What's the other HOTS? And now it's GW2 HOT. It's so weird. It's like GW1 NF and GW1 EOTN seems so natural to me, and now I have to think of GW2 HOT. Like, what the heck?
All right, you guys need to tweet me out pictures of your hot characters.
Oh my god.
Okay, and Guild Wars 2 hashtag Guild Wars 2 HOT, and just have them in like a char, just bare chested and like laying down, and just tweet it to me Wooded Potatoes and the official Guild Wars 2 account. Like that's gonna be amazing. They're gonna be like, what is this? Anyways, what I was saying about season 2 though, a lot of the boss fights I really enjoyed.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they were using telegraphs, and it's something I've been saying for a while. Like, look on the past VisualWoods. I love me some telegraphs because it just makes it's fun, it's engaging. You know where to move, and it also teaches people who don't know the game to actually play a certain way. That looking for animations while like 20 billion people are shooting their like crossbows and beams of light towards a monster. You can't see their animations.
Ooh, crossbows. Are you saying there could be a new weapon coming out?
Oh, we gotta cut that because that's a spoiler, right? No, I'm just joking.
Shall we be clear with people? We don't know anything, all right? We really don't.
We don't know much. We just know something. Anyways, so we
I'm so bad at this.
I want. Yeah, I know. I'm too honest. I want to.
You should be more fake like me.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if people would get that joke.
Matt was calling me fake on the live VisualWood we did in GW2 the other day, and that's haunting me, dude. That's haunting me. I'm gonna let you drop it
until you show your face. You're not fake. You'll just be.
Is this really a thing? Like, I'm not actually insulted. Is this a thing? If I don't show my face, it's like kind of fake. I can see the thinking there.
Yeah, well, you have to eventually do it. I mean, you can't just die off one day.
See, when people say that to me, I want to not do it to spite them. What do you mean you have to eventually do it? You have to eventually join Facebook. You have to eventually do all these things.
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. I don't know, dude. Come on, look. Rewind the clock 5 years, all right? That was a thing.
MySpace, Facebook. Oh, man, that's a platform pass.
Live journal.
Mm-hmm. You got to eventually get, Skype over IM messaging or whatever. Then Skype is absolutely garbage.
Wow, do you think really that's going to happen? Skype's going to die? That's weird to me. I can't imagine that.
What if another product comes out that's like for instance, what if Crunchyroll, for instance, even like, man, anime for, Netflix, like that's not going to work, and then all of a sudden like it's in every app. Like, can you wonder if there's like another program because it's so easy to put it on PS4 and Xbox. Yeah, they have this system of having apps on the consoles all the time. Even Wii U has these apps, and I wonder, it would be easy to transfer from like Skype to something else. I mean, Skype is already garbage as it is. And I've heard someone
Whoa,
actually.
come on, Skype isn't garbage. It's
Dude,
it's
I
not
just
the
got
best
an
thing
ad.
in the world.
We just
Yeah.
got an ad before we came online. An
Well, maybe
ad
that's
just
'cause
pops
maybe-
up talking about Snickers. Okay.
Oh, is it a Snickers ad?
Yeah. It's something about some football guy. He's like, "You're Johnny Football." He just eats the Snickers. I'm like, really?
Yeah, has anyone had that? I've never heard of that, but Matt had an audio ad on Skype while I was in a call with him, and it tied the audio of the ad to the audio of my voice, so he couldn't even, like, turn it down without turning me down.
But my point was that I mentioned 6 minutes ago, Guild Wars 2, I'm hoping that HoT will be something that changes the gameplay, that will have telegraphs, that would have the extra weapons that people want, that would change your characters, a little bit more progression in a way that's not like damaging to what that their vision of Guild Wars 2. I would like to see a lot of that. And I think that maybe that's what they're going for. I mean, they had this big forum post, you remember the CDI, with all these like ideas about progression, character progression, and all that. Like, don't you think that they're going to be using all those, information, all that feedback from all the players?
Yeah, it's funny actually. There's a lot of stuff. Do you remember when Edge of the Mist came out as well? And they said, "Oh yeah, we're using Edge of the Mist as a testing ground to learn about other updates we can do to World vs. World," and then very little really ever happened to World vs. World. I actually think they weren't lying to us when they say stuff like that, or not even necessarily going back on plans and stuff. It's just they are working on it for HoT, or this big thing that's always been in the background, and they're just going to roll it all out together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's...
The scavenger hunt, the PvP ladder, the maps for PvP, all this different stuff that they just haven't released yet. I remember the legendary stuff. They were planning on releasing some more legendary stuff as well, like last year.
Yeah, and there was the Raven stuff that was data mined.
And they just didn't do it. They were like, you know what? I think it was like, why release it now? Because the community is going crazy, whatever. Just put it all in one bit, and it's just going to be like the game changer. Like, everyone's going to be like, whoa, there's just so much stuff here that's been just packed on for a very long time. It's going to be some massive drop. And I can't imagine how this would affect the game. You would think, like, what happens with expansions? Does everyone get the legendary armor with the
it's
the
weird
expansion?
you have to do like an odd mix, and
yeah,
they really struggled with that again in the first game because they had all these little campaigns and stuff that were coming out, and like they would release tons more skills. For example, so in that game you'd have all the base skills, right, loads of them. You could slot them anywhere on your bar, and then when the X pack came out, they kind of had to add duplicate versions of skills. So there was like a skill like one was called Breath of Fire, I think, right? Which would put like an AoE on the floor. Like elementalists dropping their lava fonts? It was basically that, okay? So imagine Guild Wars 1 had this skill. And then when an expansion came out, they were like, oh, we've got to add a bunch more skills. So they added more skills, and they were like, wait, what about all these like staple skills? So then you had like these weird duplicate skills because they were the same thing, just a different version for the X-Pack and stuff. There was a lot of weird stuff like that. It's like, who gets what, Like, who gets... And I don't think they want to split people up, I think it's stuff like, when HoT drops, okay, let's say you don't buy it, and I do, right. And then do we both get the World vs. World changes? Let's say World vs. World is completely revamped and actually ends up really awesome.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. Like, do I not get the new World vs. World experience? I must, right? So, like, I think everyone's going to benefit from it. It's just that I wouldn't... Oh, sorry, if you hadn't bought it, you wouldn't be able to...
Get the new set of maybe? Armor, or... I guess they wouldn't lock the armor. I'm hoping... Man, would they lock regions? I guess they could, yeah. People have done it before. I've seen Lotro done it. And I guess WoW has done it as well. I think they have. I haven't played like any of the new expansions. When I played WoW years ago, I just bought everything and just played through it. So I wonder how. I think WoW locks expand places as well. But someone will correct me down below. But yeah, it seems weird. So I wonder. They've obviously been thinking about this for a while. I mean,
yeah, this will be what they're trying to affect, right? This is what they're going to be trying to change. This is
the new MMO experience.
This is why it's not, hey, meet us up at PAX South for For the news on this expansion, it's for what comes after the living world, how we can continue growing in MMO, stuff like that. Like, on points of interest, Colin very briefly for a second said, hopefully Guild Wars 2 goes on forever or whatever. Like, they clearly still have plans. They're clearly going to stay with the game, and it's, this is really, really important. And I think they've had ideas
it is. It's so important that if they drop the ball on this one, that would be disastrous, I think. And I don't think they will. I really don't think. I feel like they wouldn't. There's no way that you work this long on something and it's just like there's nothing. It's just a living story patch. Like, there's no way. There's no way that's even possible, I think. I don't know. Do you agree? There's no way they'll drop the ball on this, right? It's not going to be some living story patch, right?
Are you being sarcastic right now? No, there is no way.
There's no way.
Look,
yeah, okay. No,
everyone,
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm serious. Like,
yeah,
no way.
yeah, they can't. I was so, look, and I'll talk to everyone about this. I was so disappointed when we found out about this during the week, right? I came into Skype call and I'm like, Matt, oh my God, look at this thing. And I was like, all right, you remember tech though? And I was like, what? Oh, dude. Yeah, right, so there's no way that this is normal.
Let me explain. All right, so we get this the server, the stage server before everyone before it goes live, right? We have like the beta server or whatever you want to call it, the pre-server, press
stage
server.
is what it's called.
Yeah, so we get to play the patch before it comes out. So Winning Potatoes beat it before I did, and he calls me. He's like, dude, I think this is an expansion. HoT, Heart of Thorns. It's like, like they have like a whole icon.
I'm just
everything.
trying to describe it to Matt.
Yeah,
Matt can't actually see it. To be fair to him, he can't see that it's basically.
I didn't see the cutscene. I didn't see any of that, and I didn't see, of course, the what happened with Keith and everything. So I was like, oh wow, yeah. Now that I played it and everything, I was like, wow, okay, I'm liking where this is going. And Kanak. I need some more Kanek in my life.
He's good, right? Oh my God, dude.
Kanek and Countess Anise. Those two together, I just love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. What do you think? So you've just played it all. You can do some serious like little story speculation here, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I just played it all. What happened is during Dragon Breach, was it Dragon Breach? Or Dragon's Reach.
Dragon's Reach, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, part 2, I stopped in the middle of that one. I was just like, man, I'm not feeling this no more. And that's when it actually starts to get good.
Yeah.
I stopped at the most worst. Like, I was playing through it between yesterday and today, this morning, and I was like, wow, this is interesting stuff. Like, this whole story part with Keith. And Keith is a mate. Man, I want a Keith character. I don't care about it. Now I want to play Thief, but Thief, of course, I'm not going to get the same experience as playing as Keith. But the icons, the skills as playing as Keith as a thief is so fun to me. It's so fun. Did you enjoy it? And the whole stealth missions and all those. I was like, what is this? What is missing here? And then of course the boss fights were interesting. Were different each time, and it just makes me wonder. Now I know why people are asking for dungeons, because this would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, like dungeons with this in it, I would.
So basically you're saying Living Story. The only thing that Living Story really misses is actual failure clauses and stuff, in my opinion, and that just really upsets me. It's like the most recent patch where we were in the library following Shirayose around and stuff. That whole thing we were doing in the library there, that's just a copy paste basically of an old set of Guild Wars 1 missions. Mm-hmm. And there's one specific moment, okay? The Guild Wars 1 mission is like across this huge map, like the size of Queensdale probably, maybe a little bit smaller, okay, in the desert. And you and your group of players have 20 minutes to collect 3 crystals from these different areas, from these armies, and return them into the middle, and then you combine them together. And that's how you finish that mission. And in Guild Wars 2, when they were like spoofing this mission in the library, okay, in this most recent patch, they put a little buff on you that expires after like 5 minutes to try and bring that time pressure back, and the buff means that you cleanse condies easy or whatever, or you had health regeneration. I don't know whether you noticed it. But when I saw that, when I was playing through that patch, all it reminded me was, how lame Guild Wars 2 is that it never like properly lets you fail ever, you know, like it just doesn't happen. Again, think about the most recent patch, you know, when everyone attacks the camp in the Silver Wastes, you know, where you have to use the airstrike to kick them all out, like right before the last mission, before you go in the cave, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
That really annoyed me because I was playing through it, and yeah, it was kind of cool when there were loads of mobs and stuff charging in, but I could have just stood there. I could have sit in the corner, and it wouldn't matter. You just wait. It just stalls until finally you manage to press F at the right damn thing, and that really sucks. It annoys the hell out of me. And so you were just saying, oh, dungeons would be really cool. I want that failure back, man. I want that chance to actually lose and it be a game, you know, not just gates before we get our rewards, you know. And I get it, most of the players would be frustrated by this fact, but I miss like having essential NPCs, and if they die you get kicked out and stuff. It made you focus, and it built memories and stuff. So anyway, yeah, like if it was dungeons, if it was 5-man, if it could kick you out, it'd be badass.
I would have loved to see like, you know, like Guardian builds built around protecting like NPCs and stuff, like really weird stuff that you could pull off. I like to see more weird, crazy stuff, you know. And that's why I remember way back when I was saying, oh, I love that things were sometimes imbalanced in games, you know, like they just, you know, they'll toss something in and the community would just like rip it apart and you know, mess with it. And of course it affects other players, especially if it's like PvP or something like that. But I always like the I don't know, the feeling of going in there and just kind of figuring out different ways to do things. But it feels like everything there's only one way. There's only one way. There's only
right.
It's all Zerker. It's all this. It's all that. I just don't like that. I still don't like that. And there's some things in the Living Story too that I didn't like, but I would say it has season 2. The second half has gotten better. If you guys have like just stopped playing, like I did around that part, like the reach, you like every time there's something really good happens, like the Master of Peace. Oh, this story was interesting, but then he was never mentioned for a long time. And then the Ritlock thing. Oh my gosh, he's in the mist, but then he's not mentioned at all. Like that type of stuff annoys you. The second half is a little bit better. Like the second half gives you a little bit more juice, even though it's not perfect. It's still better. Which
do you think? Yeah. Okay, from my perspective, as someone who played each of them and did the horrible waiting between each, I actually feel like they're both on par with one another. Now, my question to you is: do you think maybe you enjoyed the second one a lot more because you got to play it in bulk? Because pretty much everyone I've ever talked to who played it all in bulk really, really, really enjoyed it. People hate it when they do a patch and it feels like they only got to log in for an hour and didn't have very much to do. And some stories got set up, but they're not really that invested to follow it on a bi-weekly basis, let alone wait 3 months for the next patch to come out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think there's any merit to that you played it in bulk? And
there's
so that's why
definitely merit to it, and there's cons to it too. Like I was talking with a guy earlier, and we were talking about Belinda, and I was like, her impact is so low, like so low. Like she's just tossed in and tossed right out, like in a matter of like a couple hours, because it's, you know, she's introduced in the beginning and then she's like killed off. Like I don't care. I mean, I like the sword that Marjorie gets. I love it, but you know, it's even though it doesn't even make any sense. I don't get why she's like fused into the sword and stuff. It's cool. It's like some anime stuff, but it's still kind of like.
It is. It's very anime, right?
Like,
I think maybe it's because she's like Canthan, because she's like supposed to be Asian, so it's like. Do you think there's merit to that?
Oh yeah.
Like the warriors are always in swords and stuff. Like the souls are in their swords.
I feel like I haven't really seen their faces much until recently, with the cutscenes, because really like. You're constantly looking at the characters from, you know, the camera's already, you know, pulled out all the way, so you don't really see their faces much. And I feel like I've seen a lot of their faces now. Consistency. Now I actually know how their face looks like, I feel. At least again. Anyway, I was like, man, geez, like these characters look really young. Well, anyways, it's definitely like some things had less impact. And some things were a lot better because, like, for instance, Case Story was really good because you got to find out what happened each time. You know, like you didn't have to wait 2 weeks to find out, oh, what does the fourth memory seed do? You know, like what are we gonna see now? Like that sucks. That really sucks. 2 weeks, and then like the impact is already like, oh, okay, yeah, this is really cool, but like it didn't really touch my heart. Like it still hasn't touched my heart, really. Like it's just better. It's just better than it's an MMO, you know? I can't expect too much from an MMO. I still don't like that my character's writing I don't like it. I don't like that I'm forced to say the things that the writers say. Yeah, I just like why am I getting mad at this person? Why am I getting mad at Marjorie for? Why?
Yeah, I feel like there is stuff that grates on me in the writing direction. I think there's a lot of like shoehorned in kind of, and I want the story to be rich with drama and stuff. So I applaud them for trying it. However, a lot of the time there's all these conversations where it's like, "Hey Marjorie, how you doing? Hey, I'm here for you. We're best friends. Oh yeah, it's really hard. Look, just know that we're there for you. We're friends through the power of friendship."
That is it. That's what I'm thinking about. That is the exact what I'm thinking about. And I was like, what is this? I don't care about, what do you mean friendship? I wouldn't say that. What happened to the multiple, you know, stuff, the ferocity and charm and dignity? Why? You know, I could complain all day about it, but all I know is that I went from not enjoying Living Story at all to for it to be like, okay, you know what? I'm invested now. I will log in and play it. Guaranteed log in and play it. Because before, I just stopped. I was like, this is not for me, obviously, because I just don't, it doesn't matter. Like the rewards, I don't really care about the rewards because I feel like the reward system in Guild Wars 2 is kind of a little bonkers.
No. The thing is, I think you would start enjoying the rewards more if you were playing it just a little bit more and more invested in like sinister gear and stuff like that. Like, I get it's not perfect, but actually I think the rewards are really good.
Really?
You know,
what about raids? You were talking about raids and stuff. Like, what rewards would you get from that?
Like, for me, it's not about the rewards.
It's about
raids,
beating
it's about them making difficult stuff. Yes, okay. And I appreciate it. They need good reward structures, otherwise it's not worth it because people zerg to the content, they finish it, and they leave. And I don't trust ArenaNet to actually make it hard enough that people wouldn't leave very, very, very quickly. Thing is, it's a catch-22 because if you make it too hard, people give up anyway, and Guild Wars 2's player base is so casual, that's sort of what would happen. So it's this whole thing, but yeah, I think in general the rewards are okay. Like, and they can do fun things as well. Did you do the achieves for the stuff, or just sort of play through the story?
Nah, I didn't.
So like, there's an achieve, okay. In this again, that library mission I'm talking about, where you ran around with the ghost. In that, one of the achievements is there's this mirror. Okay, now it's referencing a Guild Wars 1 mission where you fought a copy of yourself, and in the achievement run for this thing in Guild Wars 2, you can go up to this mirror and press F on it, and another version of you will spawn, a doppelganger of you, and you have to kill yourself. If you manage to kill yourself, then you complete the optional achievement. The achievement itself is kind of fun, okay? But the reward for that is it gives you like a makeover kit. It gives you like, because you just killed your doppelganger, and now they're like, hey, here, look, you can change your hair, I think it is. Like, that's cool little stuff, you know? And like, I know it's not gear, and I know I would be sort of happy with a gear treadmill as well. We were talking about HoT. What do you think about the idea of raising the level cap? This is a discussion I'm really scared to go into because I just don't know what I think about it.
Yeah.
Because if they raise the level cap,
I am okay with gear treadmills. Not crazy gear treadmills, but done in a certain way. I don't know. Like, it could be done in a different way that it's not like wow gear treadmill. You know, where you have another
What's
armor
so bad
set
about
every...
the WoW gear treadmill? I'm just playing devil's advocate right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, raising the level cap, I feel it's a bit...
I feel like you'd want it. Why do I feel like you'd want it?
I want progression. I want progression. It doesn't have to be gear treadmill. It doesn't have to be levels. I want progression in a certain way. And I appreciate luck. You know, the luck percentage and stuff like that. I appreciate,
achievement points.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I want my character to change in some way, and I feel like it's not. Adding an extra 5 levels might not do that for me. It might not.
Well, ultimately, it's just going to stop again, isn't it?
Right, because it's just going to stop again. So it doesn't really matter about the level. It really matters, like, maybe getting more skills or I don't know. Just what would change drastically? Like we were talking about last time, going from Ranger And then you could go into like the sniper, trait line or whatever, and it totally changes the game. More builds, more skills, more everything. And I don't know if people want the Guild Wars 1 skill list, because like the Guild Wars 1 skill list was ridiculous. But I know they want to keep the casual feel to it, that it's like, oh, here's your trait line, here's your skills, just a good arcadey handful of stuff that you can swap between that changes the gameplay of your character.
I think that works. The bundling of 5 skills has always worked and always been a great idea, but there needs to be way more weapons in the game. There needs to be way more weapons, because the problem is it's an RPG, okay? And the biggest thing about RPG is feeling like you can specialize or define your character, okay? And not always to like the meta standard of anything else. But the thing is, right now there are so few weapons and you can swap stuff around so freely in Guild Wars 2. There is no such thing as me having any identity to any build I ever run on my Elementals. You say you like build making. It's one of the things you most like about Guild Wars 2.
I constantly change it.
I like build making, but I think build making is terrible in Guild Wars 2. Yeah. I think you're an idiot. Honestly, if anyone ever said to me, hey, I'm a Scepter Elementalist, like just in general, not that they were specifically on that role or whatever, I think they're a bit of a fool, because honestly, anyone would just have all the weapons there and you swap them around, whatever. Like I've mentioned this before, it really, really annoys me that there isn't this identity, and I desperately want that identity to feel like in Guild Wars 1 there were all kinds of things you could do. You could like pick any of these weird obscure elite skills and then sort of go for them, and not everything was always viable 100% of the time, but that's true in Guild Wars 2 also. I don't know, I just feel like there's the 5 skill thing. People are like, Guild Wars 2 sucks because you can't, the skill system doesn't give you enough opportunity or whatever. There's not enough skills and stuff. It would just be solved with a lot more weapons, in my opinion. And I get it. It's a lot of balancing work. But
imagine this. A new map, and in this map is a bunch of enemies and a big tower in the middle. This is where you go after level 80 to get your quest to go and, be a monk. If you're a guardian, you become a monk or a brawler or whatever, wield 2 shields or whatever. And no, you're not stuck in that set path. You can just unlock them. So if you, for instance, go for the monk specialization, you get the tome or whatever after completing all these challenges. They could do a whole bunch of different challenges. I mean, they could be creative, just like they did with SAB. Make it really creative and enduring in this big tower that everyone can go into. And I would love to see something like that. And it's difficult to unlock these things. So when people go through there, and they come out and they're like, I guess in the very beginning, like, how everyone, when they first got their legendary, is like, oh, wow, you got a legendary. Oh, my gosh, you're so cool. But not everyone has one, right? Mm-hmm. There should be, I would like for it to feel like that again, at least for the beginning. Make it.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, make it different. Because I hate that. When I played Maple Story or any other MMO, any MMO that I tried went to endgame, I had these things that only I had. Okay, only I had. It wasn't like I have that too. No, like there's these rare things that you can only make for you, and because you played the game, because you got this rare drop, because you blah blah blah. Like there's none of that in this game, and
there is some now. You have been missing a few things. Glorious armor and stuff like that does.
Glorious armor.
Yeah,
is it skins?
Glorious Heroes armor. Yeah,
it's all skins.
What do you mean? It's skins.
It's all skins. It's I know.
So your whole thing.
I'm talking about the classes, which is.
It's a valid point you're making. So you're saying you want crazy difficult to get stuff that is also mechanically exclusive.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore, isn't it? Yeah, that's a little bit too hardcore. I realize that. I realize it is.
I like the idea. I do. I just don't think it's Guild Wars 2, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not. Like that. It's not. And that's why I kind of I was kind of depressed with the game. I was like, maybe this game is just not. It's just not for me. Because the way they've been going about it. But like they seem to actually be working on stuff. So maybe they'll add some casual stuff that I like. I feel like the hardcore stuff is gonna
Fishing?
My gosh. Man.
HoT fishing. We saw some water in the trailer, guys. There's gonna be fishing.
Do you think what do you think they will focus on? Do you think they will focus on a combination of both casual and hardcore? or you think they'll focus more on hardcore or casual?
I think honestly, I think they're gonna try and focus on the hardcore and the staple formats of their game. PvP, World vs. I expect big changes for World vs. World. I really do. And I think they're going to add a lot of stuff to PvE. My hope would be, basically, there's a trifecta of things that I desperately want for PvE, and that one of them they've never really commented on at all, but the idea of a hardcore leveling system, okay, is something I desperately want. The idea of proper raids, difficult content, and also guild poppable hard versions of world bosses for large guild group content. Those are like the three main things I want. I actually don't care that much about dungeons or fractals. I've got to be honest. I don't actually care that much about those. I've been in those scenes for a long time and then moved out of those scenes.
I remember you running every single day. I got so tired of it, and I just never touched a dungeon ever again. Ever. I ran fractals and dungeons so much because I didn't know what else to do at the moment either. I was just like running every day, getting all this money, making these legendaries and all these different armor sets, and then I just kind of burnt myself out of it, and that's why I just kind of like I'll just go living story then. And World v World. World v World is always fun when you're dueling with people. And that's what I did on streams constantly.
Do you think, all right, that's another feature. Do you think proper dueling will come, given
Yes, that's another thing I was going to mention. Yeah, dueling. Do you
want to explain why that could happen based on what we saw in the trailer?
It could with the factions and stuff. I mean, if you get to pick a side, what if you get to pick a side? Like, oh, you're for the dragon. No, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen at all. That's stupid.
Wait,
Don't listen
what
to
did
me.
you say? Be with the dragon?
Be with the dragon or be against with the Samari.
Sure.
No, but I would like to think well, there's a lot of PvP going on in the trailer, but I would like to think that maybe they'll release a arena that people can fight, you know, in like a PvE space map, you know, just dedicated to that, and they could have story around this area as well. It's mechanically, there's a mechanic around the PvP. It's not just like, oh, here's an open world. It's not like World v World, but in PvE. I want it to have some type of mechanics with like depending on which side you choose on this map, you know?
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, but this is all we have talked about before, because we've been speculating literally for 2 years, okay, on what they could potentially add to the game. Okay, and they haven't added anything until right now. That's right. All that living story and feature patch. Well, what are you talking about,
God.
Matt? What are you talking
my God. Oh my God.
I'm saying the worst stuff. I know, guys. Cringe.
I will hang. I hate those. Honestly, it's one of the things that annoys me the most.
Yeah.
GW2 doesn't add anything. It's all temporary. What
they
are you
obviously
talking
do.
about?
Yeah, they obviously.
Oh my God. Even in season 1, which was the notorious temporary time, there were a lot of permanent things added. I get so angry.
Yeah. There's a lot of things added. Obviously, I pull out all the stops to do a feature patch. And those were the only things I was doing at the time as well, because that's what I was interested in, you know.
Because it's mechanics stuff.
Because it's mechanics. That's what I care about. I want to do stuff. You know. And the living story during that time wasn't scratching that itch at all. It wasn't scratching that itch at all. But now, I feel like it's there.
Are you in general happy with the way the game is, like, as a core level, considering all the stuff like wardrobe and, you know, all those just features, champ boxes, even stuff as far back as that, right? That just sort of were really hit and miss at launch. Do you think that now it's going to be in a good place? Do you think that a totally new player coming for the X-Pack will actually...
Oh, dude, if they do what we think they're going to do with the X-Pack, you know, release all the stuff they've been working on for a long time, the scavenger hunt, the PvP stuff, the World v World stuff, new maps, whatever, all this beta testing they've been doing and hinting at for a very long time. If they actually do this in this X-Pack, and yes, Guild Wars 2 is in a nice place right now. For veteran players, in my opinion, maybe not so much, but for new players, absolutely. If they land an X-Pack with this, returning players, veteran players, new players, casual player.
That's why I think they should do it veterans and more hardcore stuff than casual stuff.
Yeah, and they're gonna love it. But you gotta understand, veteran players, most of them are not hardcore either, you know? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say most of them, but a lot of, they're not all hardcore.
You're right. Most of them aren't. You're damn right. Most of them aren't. Why? Because what is there to be hardcore about? There are some people out there, very few people, who are trying very hard to, on websites, mark down speed clear records and stuff like that, and try and get some kind of competitive hardcore side of things in Guild Wars 2's PvE. But it's a pathetic fraction of the overall player base. It is. It's horrible. You're absolutely right. Most veteran players are not hardcore players. Not in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, just look at any of our comment sections. Oh, I'm a casual player and I don't care about hardcore. There's plenty of them, which is fine. It's fine. I feel like they're not catering to you as enough, though. To be honest, casual players out there, and I go hardcore in an MMO. Like, I just devour everything, and with Guild Wars 2, I kind of just fell off the wagon with, and I want them not to have that feeling after the expansion, hopefully in January 24th, they're going to say some stuff. They got to say some stuff that's going to change the way we think about, Guild Wars 2. And it's like, okay, you remember before HoT? Yeah, man. That was like the old days. Now, after HoT, it's amazing. I wonder, are they going to do it in such a way that it won't become old after a week, after
this is
the
why
expansion.
again, I really think this is why a lot of the stuff that they do has to be very renewable, enduring content that captures people once they're at 80. People who hit 80 are fed into this content well, and I don't think that it should be specific to the new region. Actually, earlier we were talking about the idea of factions and stuff. I'm not actually sure how much I want them to do the factions thing. I'm not sure I want to see that be a thing, really, because it could easily become like the main focus of the X pack if it was, or whatever, and instead they probably wouldn't focus as much on things that I think really do need focusing on. Like, here's the thing, like World vs. World, it's got big glaring problems, okay, that make it just feel like you're zerging or you're running around barely contributing, but otherwise sort of having some vague notion of fun, alright? And there are people who enjoy World vs. World. There's also a hell of a lot of people who don't, and a hell of a lot of people who quit, but the general premise is great. And if HoT comes out and does all these big cool things for World vs. World, that's renewable right there, Matt. That's renewable. That's something that you can always be like, okay, I'm done with all the Guild Wars 2 stuff. I don't really want to go for a new gear set. I don't really want to do this or this or this. I want to go play some World vs. World, and that's always there for you, and ideally the same for PvP. That's what I want to see most. I want to see HoT. I think the biggest thing that the game needs is build stat diversity in builds. Currently everyone just goes for super hyper glass stuff, and even Condi as a branch of damage often isn't the most viable. And that's it. It's like the game could be a lot more engaging, and not just more fun because people can specialize in different ways and there's actual places for that in the game.
Right.
But also, if they encourage people to use these builds and these other builds and these other stat sets are really viable and they're working and they're doing things, that ropes people in for so much longer, because now you get your first set, oh yeah, I got my Zerk Ascended stuff, and now, a patch comes out, they seriously change, they start balancing for PvE properly, and all of a sudden now on my Elementalist, I really want to use a completely different stat set, and that's actually worthwhile. There are too many completely unused stat sets in this game, and I really, really stand by it. I think it would be the biggest thing to change it, and that's renewability. It takes so long to hit stat cap.
100% agree, and I will go well with legendary armor.
And I'm very scared. My main disappointment, honestly, I think for this X-Pack is on next week. I really think that they're not going to talk about that at all. And I think that they're still stuck balancing purely for PvP, where there is a lot of variety. And I think that neglect of PvE is really going to keep crippling it. This is the most important thing for me that ArenaNet could do. And I don't think they're going to do it. Or I'm very cautious. I'm like 40%. I'm 60% sure.
I thought you were surprised because it's the same thing I said, and you were like, no, it's an hour it's an hour panel, or hour and a half panel.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. They've got to talk about stuff. Yeah.
You gotta have faith. You can't be negative.
It's not about whether they have
Nancy.
time. Huh? It's not whether they have time on the panel to do it. It's that they won't have thought of it. Or
exactly. And I know. That's what people are saying. That it's like, oh, it's an hour and 30 minutes. That's supposed to change everything, but it's not. If they don't want to talk about something, they're not going to talk about it. But they say we're gonna have enough information to talk about, right? So hopefully they stand by that. Stand by that. Wow, we talked about Guild Wars 2 a whole lot. That
getting all like introspective.
Oh my gosh, all the people who don't listen to the podcast for Guild Wars 2 is gonna be like, what is this? What is I'm
it's
sorry,
right. You
guys.
can literally, because we started with this, you can just annotate it and be like, hey, look.
Yeah,
50 minutes.
exactly.
Guff.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So, let's stop talking about that. What else have you been doing this week?
I was doing something. What was I doing? I was playing a totally different game. I cannot remember it. Oh yeah, no, the game I was playing with you, for God's sake. I was playing Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Matt.
Right.
It was this cool game about a detective guy. Now I'm not saying anything. No judging here. Okay. I do think maybe I should have been in control because I would have been a lot more thorough with my exploration, and I wouldn't have missed like half the game.
Oh man, you are stabbing me so hard right now. Oh my god, I am bleeding. I may not be able to edit this podcast. Oh my gosh. The reason why I was moving on is because I didn't want to spend 30 minutes of us just laughing about. I didn't know that there was going to be extra stuff, So I didn't want to spend 30 minutes of just looking at the scenery, because then I would have to just keep cutting over and over again. I don't know how people are. Some people are like, oh, don't cut because we want to see everything. And then some people are like, why did I just watch 30 minutes of you guys walking around with no story progression? What am I supposed to do? So I picked to go forward, and that's what I did. All right. And I stand by all of that was in the first session. Okay. So that's why we didn't go back and see it all. But it's
people will never understand that though on YouTube.
No, they just
multiple
think
videos coming out in one session.
Yeah, they just think that we just record one time every day and read all their comments and then go again and then but we do read the comments. We just have to put out all the rest of the session. Anyways,
I have I've got this idea of like going away and vlogging, right? Like traveling and vlogging and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to you about it before. I've always liked the idea of like recording like 6 months, 7 months worth of LPs. You chunk them up into like 10-minute, 15-minute videos, and then you just automatically have them rolling out for that entire time that you're away. So it's almost like you can keep YouTubing even though you're not necessarily there. And I love the thought of recording tons of games in bulk. And there's always comments on them of people saying, "Weepy, you missed this. Weepy, go back to this, do this." It's like, yeah, this was recorded in 2013, guys. It's now, way later than that. Sorry, we can't really do anything. No one would ever learn. You could be doing that for 7 months, and it would just be a known thing about your channel during that period. These were all recorded a long time ago, but they're here so that you can still share a bit of your day with me, and people just would. Yeah. The internet is great, right?
Yeah, the internet is amazing. Well, I've been playing a ton of Wii U, as always. So I don't.
Oh yeah. Wait. Can I be polite for a second?
All right.
Thanks, Matt, for asking what I've been doing. What have you been playing?
Oh. Yeah. Well, thank you for asking that. You always do,
I'm very
and I always
interested.
appreciate that you always ask that.
Yeah.
It's Super Mario 3D World with the wife, and of course Smash Brothers. Man, that game is good. Wii U has been
Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah, it's really good.
You were like lukewarm about it the first time you mentioned. Then you were like pretty happy about it the second time you mentioned it, and now you sound really happy about it this time.
What do you mean? I just never get to finish my sentence because we're always moving on with stuff. We're always talking about something, moving on, and we never get to get. Well, I'm like near the end of the game now, and it's just like
moving on. iTunes review.
So, let me go ahead and send you this audio adventure here.
Oh no! Last week, I liked how last week our whole transfer thing ended up on the pod. That was really good, and I hope it happens again now.
You know what just happened, right? Skype just loaded up an audio ad.
All right, here we go. So this is the audio adventure. If you're a new tuner into the podcast, hello, welcome. It's now and in. Every week, one of us goes and does something in the real world, preferably interacting with other people. And makes a challenge out of it. What?
I didn't interact with somebody else.
It's okay. What did I do last week? Last week I had an iron, bro. It's okay. So I have to guess what's going on, right?
Right.
Okay, here we go. Oh my god, what? You don't use film, do you? That sounds like a videotape.
Has the guessing already started?
Yeah. Oh no, what is that? A real guess? Oh come on! Why are you breaking my balls here, man? All right, let me listen to that again. This sounds like. Okay, you're lifting like a cabinet up. Do you have an old record player? Is that a spinning disc and then there's like a scratch?
No, it's not a record player.
It sounds like a VCR.
It's
it
not
so
a VCR?
sounds like a VCR towards the end. All right, but yeah, that's not a guess. That's not a guess.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
No, it's not. The reason I said it sounds like a VCR, but didn't say is it a VCR, is because you do video stuff, right? Online, isn't that a thing? And so you probably have a camera, and so I'm wondering if it's something to do with your camera. But I would assume you to just record straight to flash, not actual film, not media.
No, I don't. Turn the handle when I'm recording.
Oh wait, let me listen again. Ooh, is that bang at the start maybe the sound of a car door? And is this a car radio stereo winding up? Is it?
No.
Oh, what? All right, then that's 3 guesses. I guess I've lost. What was it?
I feel like some people have gotten this like as soon as they hear it because it's such an iconic sound for people who had the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh my god, what?
Yes.
Not only did you give me a hard one, but I lose nerd points for it as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, it wasn't hard. Well, I guess if you haven't heard the Dreamcast, then yeah. So you did lose nerd points, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you had a Dreamcast, you would know this sound. It's the sound of it like breaking, basically.
Yeah, that sounds really violent.
Yeah, that's the sound it makes when it reads disc. And that's the click in the beginning is me pressing the power button. It sounds like that. Every Dreamcast sounds like that. Every Dreamcast. It's such, and then you hear the the whole jingle of this Dreamcast. It's really good.
I always liked, this is sort of off the topic, but I liked the GameCube jingle where you held down Z and it made the weird noise,
Yeah.
Do you actually know what I mean?
No, I don't actually.
There's like an Easter egg on the GameCube where if you boot it up holding down the Z button on a controller, it would make a totally different noise and the sound of kids laughing and stuff. Yeah. It's really cool.
What's this whole Z thing? Why Z? Why is that a thing?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V.
Oh?
X, Y, Z.
Oh. Whoa, you forgot your alphabet live on the podcast. Look at the chat go. Oh, WP. Oh, you're not smart anymore. You're not a smart British.
I didn't forget the alphabet. It was for comedic effect. But the song does end with X, Y, Z.
It's for comedic effect, right?
X, Y, Z sounds weird.
That's what we'll tell people. It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay. This is why I don't do live things.
I want to ask you something. So before we recorded, my mom texted me a picture of me crying from one of my reviews.
Oh, no way, really?
She says, yes, I watch your videos. She says, you make me laugh. Yes, I watch your videos. And I'm like, I don't even know how to answer. Because I'm like, I do some jokes on there that I don't know if you would get.
Didn't you say once, a long time ago, that she's quite a hard lady?
Yeah? What do you mean?
As in, so, like, if you were making inappropriate jokes, she wouldn't be very amused.
I don't think she's that hardcore, no. I don't think she's that hardcore. She would probably laugh. But, I don't make that many stuff, I may dabble into some very uncomfortable jokes every once in a while, but not too much. At least
I've always thought you got uncomfortable from that because you had good parenting. Until the whole Shadow of the Colossus stuff, and it probably came from her,
right? Yeah. Well, I feel very comfortable, which is it's weird when they're like, oh, I shared your video around. I'm like, why? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want people to know what I do. This is weird. This is weird thing. It's like, yeah, I do video editing. Yeah, and it's production and stuff. I mean, obviously I do some extra stuff, but like. That's just the easy way to say it. I do this, I do that. Yeah.
It all depends on who you're talking to, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What I would describe myself as doing changes a lot depending on the face of the person I'm speaking with.
Yeah. So,
I work on the internet. It's probably my default to really old people.
So, movie club. Okay, we didn't pick one last time.
Yeah, but Matt wasn't keen, and now you are, right?
What do you mean? Oh,
you went at first.
You're trying to. So I had.
No, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just saying how the convo went.
Yeah. All right. So he was like, "Oh, why not another Leonardo DiCaprio movie like Titanic?" And I was like, "What? Why Titanic?" And he was just like, "Oh, it's such a good movie."
Matt. So when was the last time you saw Titanic?
When I was young.
When he was young. Okay. Now I know for a fact
10 years
that
old.
when I was young, Titanic was known as the movie with the boobs in it.
Yes.
And Titanic was like, it was definitely notorious for. I remember watching that as a kid and being like, oh my god, wow. So this is what adults feel, right? And like, I really remember. I also remember being at a summer camp once, and we were told to be very quiet, and a guy was in one of the top bunks, and everyone had to be completely silent, but and like there was this very strict guy who was like insane. Actually, he was really aggressive with children. He was like, nobody can say anything. Lights up. We're going to sleep in the dormitory. And then a guy in the bunk above said, and they started playing music, to try and get us to go to sleep, and it was the Titanic song. And he said, "Oh, I really wish I could be looking at Kate Winslet's boobs right now." And he got kicked out of the dormitory. He was like a 7-year-old. He got kicked out in the rain. He couldn't sleep. The guy was mental. Anyway, so yeah, this was what the movie was to a lot of people. There's also one scene in a car where there's a lot of steam, and it's very kind of... It's a very hot scene, okay? But, all right.
Moved on right from that story. Okay.
Yeah, no. This is the thing about Titanic. Everyone knew it as like the boobs movie. But the thing is, dudes, it's a great movie. There's like maybe 6 or 7 seconds of nudity in the entire film. Yeah, there's a bit of a relationship going on, but it is not smutty even remotely. I think it's the perfect movie to watch on the podcast. It's actually one of my favorite movies. It's a really, really, really good movie.
I have to watch it again. I have to watch it with the new eyes, the new clean eyes.
Dude. Like the start where you're getting used to all the the social dynamics of people and the politics and getting into the period, and some looming disaster is coming, and there's that tension the entire time. And you can see all these little subtle hints, and then you've got the story.
I didn't watch it yet. We don't got to talk about it right now.
And then when it happens,
okay,
it becomes like this incredible action movie.
All right. Movie club is gonna be Titanic. So we'll see you guys next week for that.
Yes,
and,
please, guys.
Have you watched any TV shows or anything recently?
Oh, I've been watching Parks and Recreation, which is an awful lot like The Office. I think it's a good show, and I like it, but it's very weird to me because it's basically just another version of The Office, and I feel like, man, they're just taking that from Steve Carell. Man, they're just taking that from here and here and here. But yeah, I'm only in early season 2. It's a good show, though. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
No, I actually, it was mentioned to me like a couple days ago to go to watch it, and I'm like, oh, really? So
it's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah.
It is a pretty funny show.
No,
There's a lot of really
I'm pretty sure I have it already downloaded ever since.
You're just insane with shows, though. Matt's about to rattle off, guys, like a million more shows that he's seen this week. You finished, what was it?
I didn't get a chance to watch too many because the review just takes too much time. There's too much time out of my day.
When Matt says he hasn't seen too many, that means he's watched maybe 5 or 6, completely.
I got caught up with Castle and The Walking Dead and Person of Interest and then it's a couple anime shows as well. But I have to get caught up with Akame ga Kill and all that. I have to. And Parasite, which I haven't watched since like the first episode when it first came out. I'm so bad. I've just been so busy, and now I'm finally getting back into the groove. And then oh my capture card is coming out next week. It's too much. Anyways, yeah, I haven't gone too hardcore with it. I watched a few episodes. I'm trying to catch up on everything that I've missed, but I tend to like everything to kind of finish before I grab it. Right now, I'm gonna try to finish Person of Interest. But yeah, I haven't been watching too much stuff.
Except when it comes to Lost, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have it downloaded.
Why do so many people give up on Lost?
Because you get lost. You get literally lost with the storyline. Okay. It gets too intense to the point that
People
just
write
like,
novels and books about it.
gosh, oh my gosh,
It's such a good show, though. The characters.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look,
okay.
and it makes you really want like beach island life, you know?
God Marcus says, Maddie and
Oh,
Woody.
wow.
Okay. The segues today is great.
Yeah,
Very
they are.
great.
They've been terrible.
What were your favorite subjects when you were a child?
Oh my god, that's a great question. I loved art. I've got to be honest. I loved art. When I was very young, I
Ooh.
wanted to be an artist for a long time. But slowly I sort of realized I had a teacher for art who was very, very relaxed, let me put it that way. He was one of these teachers that would let you listen to your iPod in class and stuff. And I just sort of, I had no motivation in the end. So it was actually a subject I chose as well, but I sort of just dropped it. I really, really, really regret dropping biology now as an adult. I wish I had gone further into biology and stuff like that. And if I ever went to uni, it would be on that subject. But yeah, man, there's a lot of PE. I used to love PE. Come on, a chance to get outside, run around, climb ropes. Oh my god, dude.
Man.
What a subject. Really? You went into it?
PE? Well, I wasn't into PE because I had my problem this whole way, my medical problem this whole.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why. That's why I hated it. Plus, it was very hot and sweaty outside in Miami. Okay? It's hot. Like, you go inside and the locker room smells like. You can't describe years and years of musk. Just everywhere. Just you can't explain that smell. I don't think you can. You guys from the boys'
I think
locker
I know
room,
exactly
you
what
know
you
what I'm
mean, though.
Just
It's like when
just
it's
thick,
like
just thick. They open the door and it spreads outside.
do you know what I always used to get to me? Like, let's say you forgot your kit, like, and you had to wear like I think you call them cleats, right?
Mhm.
Like shoes with studs in. Like, so they'd bring out if you did that, they'd bring out the box with all the shoes, like the school shoes that people had to wear, and those things
Right.
always stank to high heaven.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh my gosh, especially there's a lot of kids coming to school, who don't know deodorant and stuff like that, and it's just, oof, they really stink. They really stink. Oh, wow, middle school days. Well, I guess. Oh yeah, for me, I didn't answer the question. For me, it was art. As when I was a kid, like a child, it was art. Me and my stepbrother drew a lot together. He was actually incredibly good. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast. He's incredibly good, like better than comic books good. Like the art that you see in comic books.
What's he doing now then?
He doesn't use it. He doesn't use his skill at all.
Oh my god! Why are you
Doesn't use-
depressing? What? Why are you doing this? to
Doesn't
people?
use his skill at all. It depressed me as well when I saw him last year. I was just like, "You're not doing anything?" He's like, "Well, I do some stuff on the side, just like drawing with myself, but that's it." I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
Okay, wait. I remember we have this show called Blue Peter in our country, okay? Which is like this kids show sort of ish, right? But people used to send pictures into Blue Peter. And I remember when I was a kid, the art that other children had submitted to the show and they showed on TV always looked insanely amazing, awesome, incredible, right? And I was like, wow, these people are so talented, and I was always very, very jealous. Then, a few years ago, I went back and looked at Blue Peter, and a lot of that art was really bad.
No,
And
it's-
so I'm
he's good.
asking you, is
He's
he
good.
actually any good?
Yeah, he's really good.
Really
he's
now?
really good. Yeah. If he stayed with it, because he was really good at 19. If he stayed with it, he would have been like a master. Like he had really good talent, man. And I was learning from him. So I got really good as well, but not to the point where like I could go into a career with it. I really wanted to go to art school, and it was a thing of mine for a while. And I kind of stopped and dropped it when I was really young, and he kind of sticked with it. But I dropped it when I was really young and ended up just losing a lot of that experience that I had when I was young.
Yeah, like
I'll
I
show
wonder
you a
about him
picture
now
of
if
some-
he's not practicing it, whether he's like regressed as well.
Yeah.
Have you got a picture?
Yeah, I could show you a picture. I think I have it on my computer somewhere. On my
Is
email.
that going to be on the pod or is that later?
No, later. Oh, I remember when I was learning to draw, and I was calling up a friend who draws, and she was like trying to teach me stuff. But yeah, I really want to get into it, but back into it because I would love to animate myself because I have so many ideas and so many weird faces I would love to make into real life. So much. I'm a very visual mind guy. I always dream about crazy stuff. Yeah. I got. I mean, not to say it was hard to get straight A's in art class because I always took art class whenever I could, but I was always finishing my work. I was always doing extra credit. I was always doing. I loved art class because it really branched out a lot of stuff. Like you weren't just using pencils. You were using charcoal. You were using paint. You were using watercoloring. There's so many stuff. And did
you ever have topic books and stuff where you would? So when I took art, I had these books that you'd fill out throughout the year, and then you'd be judged on them at the end of the year, and you'd be researching different painters and stuff, and then trying to replicate their styles, and you'd have it all stuck in there and stuff. And then once school was over, you could take them back home with you, so you'd still have examples of all the artwork you did and stuff at school. Yeah. Do you have those?
Yeah. I don't know if I still have it. I think my mom might have it.
What do you mean by that? You got to get your mom. Look, your mum watches the videos. Hey, Matt Visual's mum, how's it going? We know you're listening now, so can you send those over? Is that all right? I will pay the postage and packaging. Send it to P.O. Box. Beep. And thanks very much.
Yeah. I edited that beat, by the way.
Yeah.
That wasn't WP at all. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the pod. Probably a lot of Guild Wars 2. More than people are used to.
This feels like the shortest pod we've recorded in a long time. Is that just me?
It maybe because we were so distracted this week. We're so distracted with the Guild Wars 2 stuff and then trying to deal with other stuff at the same time. You're having some IRL stuff with moving. I'm having some IRL stuff as well. This is so much going on this week. I think next week will be better, right?
Oh, no. I know what it is, Matt. I know what it is now.
What
I know why it feels so short.
What?
We didn't do a riddle. Do you want to cut the riddle section? I get the feeling you're not too into the riddles.
I would. Who was the last time? Who did the riddle last time? Was it you?
You gave me one last time, so I'm going to give you one this time.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a hard one as well.
Okay.
What is it? Oh no! If that is the answer that I think it is, oh my god, that is not hard. Okay. A cowboy rode into town on Friday, stayed 3 days, and rode out again on Friday. How did he do that?
What?
I hate this. I know the answer to this straight away. Come on, this one's really obvious.
Hold up. Say it again.
A cowboy rode into town on Friday, stayed 3 days, and rode out again on Friday. How did he do that?
Stayed 3 days.
Yeah. Or you can swap if you want. You can veto and go for something else.
Stayed 3 days and left on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
How did he do that? A cowboy. I'm assuming that has something to do with the riddle. A cowboy stayed 3 days. Can days? I don't know. What is it?
All right. Do you want the answer?
Yeah.
His horse's name is Friday.
I hate the riddle section. What the heck? Oh my gosh. It's right there. It's buried deep. The cowboy has something to do with it. Riding on Friday. Anyways, guys, I thank you for watching.
Wow, that's such a downer.
Hopefully this was the best VisualWood ever. Woo!
Always is, my friend. Every week we top ourselves.
Every week.
Oh, did they listen to the song this episode as well?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put that in. Okay,
cool. Well, that song was cool as well. Thanks for that, guys. More remixes.
Right.
See you next week.
Thanks. What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood podcast. And I'm here with just wooden potatoes.
Wow, you're making yourself look pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
Beware of the gators.
Okay.
Draining your sanity and threatening you with
try not to say put in your mouth early. All those shots. Ooh, so good, so good. Oh my gosh.
Also, I apologize to everyone on this podcast if I'm coughing. I apologize especially to you, Matt, for flamming in your ear. Ladies. I have no idea. And that was fun, wasn't it, Matt?
Well, that's pretty cool.